Hi, welcome to Binge Buddies. No wrong time to rock. With me, your host, is always Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Matt, Zombie Dog, Dead Man, Dykes.
Blech.
I'm still hoping for more quacks.
That wasn't a quack. It was me dying.
I know. That's why I'm disappointed. I was hoping that from like fucking 3 episodes.
There's these things called running jokes, Matt.
Oh, yeah. That running joke that I was intending on doing and completely forgot within like 2 minutes.
Yeah, so now the running joke is that you don't know the running joke. And all of like 2 of us find it kind of funny.
See, now I'm just thinking of that line from The Office where it's like, oh, I love inside jokes. I hope to be a part of one someday.
I just ran into Angela and Pam from The Office like 2 days ago at a restaurant in L.A., and I didn't say anything because I checked it out.
Are they doing their podcast?
Anyhow, we also have Joel Morpheus DeWitte. You have your own show right now. You should be really proud of yourself. It's doing really well.
Okay. That's not the Morpheus I thought of when you said that.
No, it's from Sandman.
Okay.
We also have... This is a character I do not know at all. Maybe Alex will. There's no recent artwork. He's an old school character. Here we go. Alex, Duke of Deception, Orona.
Wow, yeah, that one I am unfamiliar with as well. I am now hitting the Google machine, and I am.
Yeah,
I'm on board.
He's an interesting one, but I like it. He's like the god of lies. I'm sure Alex would enjoy this.
Oh yeah,
this one.
Plus he's ripped. Yep, I'm on board.
In the version I saw, he looked kind of like Mixie Pitalik. He did not look ripped, and I felt bad about that part.
No.
But hey, you found a good drawing of him, so have fun
Traps
with
for
that.
days.
So here we are. We did it, and I'm a little sad about that. Although this one, for 8 episodes, we've been talking about Peacemaker for a long time.
No, it's too late, Matt.
Yeah.
The moment's gone.
You had your chance. But yeah, so we've been talking about the show for 4 months when there's only 2 months worth of material. But I'm okay with it because it meant we really got to savor and enjoy the series. But for next week's episode, we had to go back to the recaps. I'm like, man, I kind of forgot some of this stuff, but we'll get to that next week. I gotta say, as far as season finales go, this one is high up there for me as one of the best.
I felt like it was sad. I was sad.
I mean, I don't think it's a super happy ending, but I don't think that in a bad way. I honestly feel like this show knew there's a very strong chance it doesn't get a season 2, and it stuck the landing of, here's enough nuggets that we could do a second season, but we don't have to. This could be a one-off, and you would be just fine with that. And I don't think a lot of shows can pull that off as well as this one did.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a tough one to sort of do, really, because it's kind of like you don't want to completely tie everything up in case you do carry on, because then where do you go from there? But you also don't want to leave things lingering if you don't get a season 2 and piss off your audience, basically, with a series that doesn't have an ending. And it is, like you say, it's quite a difficult one to get right, but I think they did a pretty good job of it, because we don't necessarily have to have Peacemaker season 2.
No.
But they could deal with, the fallout of the revelation at the end of the episode in Suicide Squad 2 or 3, however they're going to number it now.
If they would make that movie. That movie's not greenlit.
Is it not? I thought it was.
No. There's no next Suicide Squad.
Not right now.
I think what works about the ending here is that they defeated the bid threat, right? And so they closed the loop on that, but all of the open threads are really smaller, more personal stuff. Yep. So they can sort of build the next larger threat around those separate threads that need to be wrapped up too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that works really well. I mean, they leave it in such a way where they could bring back Judo Master. He could, pop up at the door again, ding dong, bitches.
Hell yeah.
Or we could never see him again, and that really wouldn't feel wrong either. They did it in a very smart way.
I mean, because at a certain point you get enough of the characters that any one of them can go off and do their own thing, and you would never really bat an eye. Or at the same time, I feel like almost every single one of these characters could get a spin-off.
Yeah. Well, maybe not Economos, that poor guy.
I would watch an Economos show.
Yeah,
so would I, but he's the only one who, his wrap-up was oh, you poor guy. Everyone else kind of ended somewhere they wanted it. Well, maybe not hardcore, but everybody else ended up somewhere they'd want to be. And then,
Yeah, kind of
of
almost
course-
was done dirty this episode.
Yeah, he really was. He got fucked over left and right, and he didn't really get a redeeming moment.
No.
What I mean, I don't know if it was
kinda
clear what
does.
his job was. I thought he just went back to being kind of a spy for the prison,
Yeah, that's kind of what I got
which
too.
is not.
But like,
I mean,
that's
he wanted that job in the first place, per se.
yeah, he didn't really like being a field guy either.
Yeah.
So maybe that did work out best for Economos, but he did lose his buddy Harcourt. Well, maybe we don't know what happened to her really beyond being super fucked up in the hospital.
Well, and the use of his leg.
Well, he's got a cast on. He's already kind of limping away.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the end of this episode when we get to the end of it. We should probably dial back to the beginning and start talking about where this thing goes. It's just kind of tough not to jump right to the end. Although we jumped right to the end without talking about the biggest spoiler in the entire thing. So if we didn't get there, then we'll get there organically. Let's dial this back to the beginning of the episode with the wonderful fart conversation. Having a great time making some excellent fart jokes, and then they go and ruin it. I fucking love Vigilante.
Best friend vigilante.
Yeah. I mean, Alex, they give you a moment at the end of this episode for your best friend Vigilante. It's like they heard you and they give you that
Yeah.
moment at the end of this. I'm forever going to think about Alex when I get to the end of episode 1, or the end of season 1 in Peacemaker with the "Don't fuck with my BFF." Like that's like, yeah, they wrote that for Alex. But anyhow, I like where this episode opens and kind of where it goes at the end. Like it does a really good bookmark of or bookends of the Peacemaker Adebayo spat, if you will. So it opens with her trying to apologize, and then near the end she's trying to apologize too, but he's a much more complete person at that point, and he's kind of let go of some of his anger. So in the beginning, when she's trying to apologize, the only way he replies to her is by making fart noises at her.
This is the perfect sort of... He's such a petulant child.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, is that not what you do when someone annoys you?
I mean, granted, it is a pure betrayal from her to him, but that is absolutely 7-8-year-old just like being pouty and retaliating the best they can.
I mean, that's how I respond in most meetings, to be fair. I just sit there and just go...
Yeah, like it's massively effective. Like I have yet to try it in a
Professional setting.
yeah.
You should try it. It's fun.
I mean, I really should. We'll see. I'll report back at some point if I ever try that in a business meeting. And
Oh, no.
go with
You need to record it.
I was in 3 business meetings this week, and I debated doing that and being like, no, this is not the... This is currently... I'm already getting yelled at. This is not the case for me to be just going... No.
I mean, how much more can they yell at you, though, if you just start going...
Make sure you tell us how it goes in your performance review, too.
Got it.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, so after we have that sequence, we move right into the opening sequence, which I even watched this episode 3 times, like because the first time I might have fallen asleep. I started it too late. I didn't skip the intro once. All 3 viewings. I've made it through this entire show 3 times now. I've never skipped the intro. I'm
neither.
very proud
Yep,
to say.
never skipped it.
Nope.
I've even
it's
gone
awesome
back
every
and
time.
watched just the intro on its own on YouTube every now and again. Because,
Yeah.
fuck me, it's awesome.
It is.
It's still fantastic. I mean, the only other show I can think that I didn't skip the intro this much to was Lost, and that one just cheated.
I think I think that every time I would watch it, I would focus on something new. And I think that each time I kind of found something new. So, for instance, Judo Master coming out of the floor is very cool.
Yep.
Like a trap door opens and Judo Master appears is a very cool bit. Or just like everyone is doing the baseline moves, which we talked about on the first episode about why they made the moves a little bit simpler. But then you have Best Friend Vigilante doing crazy front flips. And that's where I was like, man, this is like every time I watch it, I'm like, I'm going to focus on the front flips this time. And like, man, those are cool.
My favorite part of the intro is always they're all so serious looking. There's no joy in their face whatsoever. It's like being like my aunt died, but I still got to finish the job today. But I'm not going to be happy about it. You can't make me.
Well, I always I sort of look at it now thinking, maybe they're pretending to be butterflies.
That's what I had thought originally. Like, I thought, like, by the end of it, you're going to find out they're all butterflies. But that's back when I didn't know that butterflies, make a huge hole in your brain and murder you.
Yeah.
So back when I thought it was something that could be undone, I'm like, oh, they're all just butterflies. And we're going to find out, like, maybe they're going to fold the intro into the show at some point. Wouldn't that be cool? And then, no, that didn't happen.
That'd be a really random thing to happen, though.
I mean, they do fold in the song, so,
Oh, yeah, the
partially
way
right.
they do the song is amazing as well.
Oh, yeah, so good. But anyhow, so we've talked about the intro, I think in every episode we've recorded, so let's not waste too much time on that one. So immediately after that, we get to them starting to prep to go kill the cow. And the conversation of the helmets they're going to use, or at least what you think they're going to use, is just fantastic, as the plan just goes to shit immediately, much like you would expect from this Peacemaker crew. just talk about all the helmets, and we haven't realized how voice sensitive these helmets are.
Yep.
Like, racist Iron Man kind of fucked up the voice sensitivity, in my opinion. Like, it shouldn't be quite that easy, or you'd just be able to kill Peacemaker whenever you want. If he's wearing, like, the human torpedo thing and you're halfway across the room, just tell him to turn on. Now you broke Peacemaker's back.
But I
Way
think
to
you're
go.
not supposed to know. It's supposed to be.
I mean, that's
it's
fair.
a secret. It's a super secret.
Yeah.
I do like, though, how the conversation about the anti-gravity one, where it's like, this one is anti-gravity, allows you to float aimlessly? No. I carry a tiny hand fan to guide me.
If that doesn't come back next season of fucking John Cena floating around with this tiny hand fan, I'm gonna be so upset. Like, I'm imagining like the space scene from WALL-E with the with the fire extinguisher, but with John Cena and a very tiny fan, and I'm so here for this.
Well, it's like the fan I'm picturing is, I don't know if you had those in America, but there's like, you can get these tiny little hand fans, which are like, they're usually like some sort of colour on the handle, and the fan blades are about white, and they're powered by 2 AA batteries. And
Yeah,
it's like,
we have those.
Yeah, you see, like, it's something you see a lot of old people in, like, when you
Like
go on,
outdoor festivals sort of thing.
Yeah, they're just sort of like going, like that. That's the kind of fan that I'm picturing. One of those tiny
Right there
ones.
with you. Yep, that's exactly what I'm imagining, and I want like a crouched John Cena, like in a ball, just like. Bzzz. Like, I want it so much.
I used to put my tongue into them just to stop it.
Well, it's not going to do anything. Any damage to your tongue. The amount of power was behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. They would just stop instantly.
Yeah, that sounds about right. They're not the most powerful fan, but if it can move John Cena around just a little bit, I'm gonna be very, very happy.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, with those ones, if you put a cut off fingernail, it'd stop.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a piece of paper will stop it. Like, they're not strong fans, but that's why it's so funny. In this sequence, we also get the Green Arrow apparently is a sexually active brony.
I don't like these.
I don't know why
I don't
I-
like these rumors.
I have to imagine Stephen Amell as Green Arrow, because Stephen Amell going to a brony convention is like the funniest thing in my head. Because Stephen Amell is just such a positive, like, yeah, I love fans, let's do this sort of guy. And I imagine he'd bring that same intensity to a brony convention, and it's making me laugh. But there's not really much more to that.
I don't know what a brony convention is, and I'm feeling like I should Google it so I know what one is, but also not sure if I actually want to Google that.
I mean, do you know what bronies
I can
are?
explain it to you in like 3 seconds. Yeah, bronies are just male fans of My Little Ponies, like extreme fans of My Little Pony.
Yeah, I know.
And then they dress
exactly
up
what...
in their horse costumes to go to convention centers.
Yeah, I know what those are.
Yeah.
There's an entire like Bob's Burgers episode about it, which is
Yeah,
surprising.
I remember. I remember that episode. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yep.
There was a
That's not creepy at all.
there was a documentary on Netflix actually where it was following a brony, and the whole thing was just disillusion and sadness from dad, and then like quietly trying to be supportive from mom. And I imagine that's probably true for most parents of bronies.
You know, you're like, I will support my kid no matter what they like. If they like sports, if they like arts, if they like instruments. Oh.
I still love my child.
Even though I probably shouldn't.
But I think the cap off of this scene that just brings me so much joy is the Eagly in the helmet. Because this whole season we've been teasing like how smart is Eagly, and now it's like it's crunch time, Eagly. Like it's now or never.
Let's go.
Prove that you are the smartest eagle we've ever seen. And I still think he is the smartest eagle I've ever seen, but maybe not the intelligence Peacemaker brings to this.
It was. Well, I mean,
I just love how he starts pecking it to start with.
Yeah.
Like, no, take the helmet. Take the helmet. No, stop it. No, take it.
and of course, like Vigilante's like
the-
really nice and supportive, but also like wants to explain to everybody. He thinks that Eagly is better than he actually is, and don't worry.
Yeah. But I also love, like, this show took, like, this is the season finale. Like, we only got, like, 40 minutes here to burn. This is, you know, do or die time. Like, this is when, like, this is the moment. We're here. And the show like this takes a whole bunch of time for this very stupid bit about an eagle carrying a helmet poorly. And then makes it important to the show. Because of the whole Eagly thing, we get the whole ghost racist Iron Man thing. Like, they really make it important. It's not just like a sight gag that we forget about. It's like, oh no, this drives the next 5 minutes of this show. And it's surprisingly funny still.
Oh, I like how it becomes most of the episode, really, in terms of like the giant climax. It's most of it is just trying to find the helmet again after Eagly's just dropped it. I just love how that how they sort of like kind of twist your expectations a little bit of that, where you think, oh, it's going to be this massive showdown battle, and you do get that.
Oh yeah.
But also the majority of it is them just looking for a helmet.
This show has always been trying to straddle the line between humor and action, and it's. I think it made sense that in this episode, even with how much they need to cover ground, that they would devote time to something so tangential to the main plot.
For me, it's just more funny that they had like, okay, we're prepping to go take out the cow. How are we gonna do it? Oh, I don't know. Like their enthusiasm
Well, to be
really
fair-
like comes to a real hard stop real fast.
Well, to be fair, at this point, they don't even know what the cow is. They just have been heard that it's referred to as a cow. Like, Myrn really should have helped them out and be like, oh, it's not a cow. It's a huge fucking thing.
Yeah, I just feel like they should.
Because when
have
Economos eventually gets there, he freaks out.
yeah.
Like, which we should get to. But, like, of course he did. Like, this is nuts. Where am I at my notes? But yeah, so after the whole Eagly moment, which is awesome, they do have to get inside and start figuring out what this thing is, and that's kind of what I was talking about. And we really only have... He is the only one who can go, right? Economos?
Yeah.
Why can't... Because Adebayo and Harcourt are too injured, they said. That they'd be too obvious. Mm-hmm. And then they know who Goff obviously knows who Peacemaker and Vigilante is, so yeah, Economos is the only one who can go.
Yeah.
Poor Economos.
He gets a moment to shine, even though he doesn't want to.
He does. And he does. He pulls it off with the worst lie I think I've ever seen. And how it works is beyond... And they never go back to how that worked, which is amazing. But there is something I kind of want to hit on before we... Because it does jump back and forth quite a bit. So we have Harcourt who's leading the charge now. And she's behind the bushes with Peacemaker while they're watching Economos walk across the field. And they're in his ear, and like, you can do this, just... before they're going, let's, show no emotion. Yeah, like Harcourt. Eat my dick, Schwarzenegger. Like, fucking love Harcourt. But now that he's, like, out in the field and they're doing everything, every time he hits a bit of a roadblock, like, Harcourt, she's got to work on her leadership skills just a little bit. Because every time there's even a remote hiccup, there's no, like, cool, calm, collected head of this thing. She's just immediately like, fuck, what are we going to do? And it's like, calm. Let everyone else freak out. You're the one who's supposed to be calm. You're the one who's supposed to be leading this charge. Like, they look to you for reassurance, and you're freaking out. Calm. Anybody else have a problem with that? Is it just me?
No, I think I could.
I never thought of it like that, but now you pointed it out, yeah. She doesn't seem like she's really there in terms of leadership, almost.
And to be fair, it's her first mission, and the stakes are impossibly high. So, like, I'll give her a whole bunch of slack. But at the same time, I have notes.
Yeah, it's like, imagine the first time you ever had to lead a team, and it's like, and if you fail this task, the world will end.
Yeah.
No pressure.
no pressure. You're fine.
There's this great moment when he's trying to skulk and get out of there. Somebody calls him back as he's trying to leave, and he thought he had done scot free, and he was worried as hell that he was caught. And the guy says, "The man you taken over, why did he do that to his beard?"
Oh yeah.
And then he has this
Poor
like
Economos.
this
I
outpouring
love
of
that.
seriousness.
Yeah, it's really. I actually like the whole speech that he gives, or the monologue, or however you describe it, and he's like explains, why and how much like it's actually been hurting him, and then you actually see the look on Peacemaker's face is like, oh shit, I've actually really been a massive dick, and then it's just capped off with, human beings are so fucking pathetic, aren't they?
And just that he has to confirm it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poor. And then he finds out that he fucked up the mission because now they took the helmet all the way out of the basement. So he really did all of this for nothing. If the whole goal was just to get in the front door, they could have done that when they charged the place and just thrown the helmet at him.
Yeah.
That's also true.
Yeah, but they do take out a few of them with the first sonic boom, and they're all distracted.
I mean, I guess. But still, it would have been much more effective had it been down in the basement still. If he had not just leaned it out in the open.
I mean, it would have been better if they hadn't have left Leota with the walkie-talkie as well, because she friggin' drops it as well.
Oh, yeah, right out of the gate. She couldn't have done work. And then she did just, like, drop it. She, like, dropped it and lost it somehow. It's like, it couldn't have gone very far. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like right at your feet.
Oh, yeah. Adebayo literally drops the ball on this one. But I do love, like, as soon as it gets going, it's so great. Like what Matt mentioned earlier, like how you want that big action sequence, and this one really does pay off. Like, we get a huge action sequence, and it's awesome. Like, it is a ton of fun. I love everything about it. I love how they brought the music in. I like how when they originally pitched this show, they want to talk about like some super fucked up, violent version of the '70s version of Captain America, and then we get that here. Like, we give Peacemaker a shield, which is not in Peacemaker's arsenal, like, ever. But he gets it here because he's supposed to be fucked up Captain America, and it's just the coolest shit.
Yeah, the stuff that he does with that shield is so funny as well. Like, bouncing, like, shooting it to, like, send it flying into someone's head or something. I think that whole sequence is brilliant, though. Like, the way that they use the music, and then you get that sort of, like, Vigilante getting shot, and he's like, oh, fuck's sake. And he just throws a knife behind him and gets the guy in the head without even looking. I just think it's so cool. But it's also
the
quite...
no-look knife throw is possibly my favorite moment in this entire episode. It's like, oh, fuck. Well, at least I can get this guy still.
Yeah.
God damn it. Fine.
It's just so, like, Vigilante is a proper badass when he's not, taping jars to his back and stuff like that.
It was a smart move at the
He really
time.
is. It made sense at the time. He needed both hands. But I do love this action. Like, I love the music. I love the way it all works. I love how, like, I love Harcourt's, like, ridiculous, cartoonish leaping stab of the one butterfly. Like, it looks just ridiculous as she's just flying. And like, it's just, like, this is what you want to see. Like, it's just like, yeah, this is payoff. This is great.
Yeah, there's a great shot as well where it's like you get basically the cameras following a butterfly as it's chasing after Peacemaker as he's heading towards the barn, and then all of a sudden you just see it just go and just get shot.
Yeah.
And it's very much like, kind of like something you'd see in like a Star Wars film or something, like, the enemy fighters coming in and, oh, it's been shot out by something else behind it or something like that. It's very much like in more like the kind of shot that you'd see in like a dogfight. In like a film with like a dogfight or something like that, and it's quite. I really like the camera work in this action scene because it's all sorts of different kind of genres of action being blended together. So you have like the really cool hand-to-hand stuff. You've got some really cool sort of gun stuff, and then you've got some of the camera work where it's looking like it's like a dogfight between planes. Very, very cool. And then you've got the Peacemaker theme starting to slow down, like the batteries are going out on the walkie-talkie. Yeah. I know that like Deadpool 2 did something very similar, but it works really well in this because it genuinely does sound like the batteries are running out, as opposed to it just being really muffled, which I think is what it was in Deadpool 2 when he gets stabbed in the ear.
Yeah. Though I do have to say, like, there is something, like, it's almost a little upsetting because I've become such a hardcore fan as the show's gone on. But there's something like you see Vigilante get shot and he's like, oh, fuck. And then he kills one guy still. Whereas Hardcore gets shot and she just looks like, oh, she's just dying now. Like, oh, this isn't nearly as much fun as watching Vigilante get shot. Like, oh, poor Hardcore. There she goes.
In Hardcore's defense, though, she did get shot with a shotgun.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, she more got winged with the shotgun, but I think she got shot like 3 times. Like, she gets pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Also, again, she's
But
not. She's. I. While she has the skills, I also feel like that's not necessarily what she's supposed to do. Right? She was not a field agent.
No, she has the capabilities, but we go back to the Suicide Squad, which actually this action sequence really reminded me of like that opening beach sequence. Like James Gunn does a very good job of making you feel like you the audience are in the middle of chaos, and he's now done that a couple times. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, you go back to that movie, and she's a desk jockey.
Yeah.
So like this job was punishment for her. So like that's not what she was for. So yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I mean. Is that like a vigilante is like, oh, I got shot earlier. This sucks, and I got probably shot again. Damn it, you know.
I mean, like one episode earlier, he did get blown up with a grenade going off like 3 feet from him as well.
Exactly.
So we know that Vigilante can take a bit of a beating and still keep on going.
And then you go to the end of this episode after he's been shot and passed out from his wounds, and he just leaps out a window and he's fine. I think I'm right. I think this guy can heal. I think we'll find out in season 2 he has special powers and they are healing. I think that because that is part of Vigilante's toolkit from the comics. I think it's here too because otherwise he's magic.
There's too much evidence. I mean, even when they were fighting racist Iron Man and he got blown up in the face, like shortly after he's up and running.
He just needed a nap.
Yeah, he just needed a quick nap. So. They could just be rolling with that it's just funny he heals from everything, or they could do superpowers. And I have a feeling they're going superpowers, because it is,
Maybe that's why his toe wouldn't come off. It's got nothing to do with the fact the guy wasn't maintaining his torture shit.
Yeah, it just kept healing. I think that's a very real possibility. Maybe that guy's like, what the fuck is he talking about? I do maintain my torture shit. I do this every week. What is he talking about?
My torture shit's immaculate.
It's sharpened, it's polished. It's greasy.
If that had been the retort in the scene, I think I would have never stopped laughing. Maintain your torture shit. My torture shit is immaculate.
That would be brilliant. That.
Oh, now, Joel, you've ruined that scene for me. I'm gonna be disappointed every time I watch it that isn't the response.
Let's make our own version of it. Let's just get like someone who can imitate that guy's voice a little bit and just have it don't even have to see the guy's mouth moving. Just like. I mean, mumbling, just going, my torture shit is immaculate.
Is that guy on Cameo?
Ooh, this all could happen.
If he is, we have a plan.
Watch this space with a special ATH cut of Peacemaker.
Yeah,
exactly the same, apart from one line.
Yeah, I'm sure that new douchebag in charge at HBO Max will be just fine with this. But let's move on. So we to finish up this sequence, we do have Peacemaker going down into the barn, and we get Alex's scene of Vigilante stopping someone going after Peacemaker by macheting him in the head. Don't fuck with my PFF. Such a good.
My
moment.
quote of the episode.
Well, it's Fitzgibbons as well. It's,
oh yeah, it was
It's one of the main sort of characters. All it's like you say, there was no coming back for him really, but
no, Fitz was gone, but now he's really gone.
Really, really gone.
And then there's a whole Peacemaker falls down a well, and he gets stuck under a whole bunch of rubble, and it's very claustrophobic, and I get uncomfortable with claustrophobic scenes, so I fast forward a little bit, and moving him on. I gotta say, when they're digging him out, I'm jumping over something, sorry. So after after Vigilante and Harcourt go down, Economos and Adebayo have to step up, and they're gonna join the battlefield. And Adebayo is built for this shit, and Economos can't get over a fucking fence without shattering his leg.
It was really gross.
It's so fucking funny though. It's like he trips over, oh, what the hell? And then he looks back and then the bone's sticking out. It's like, oh my god!
It was real gross.
It just reminds you, when you're a kid though, and you fall over in the street playing, you're like, that hurt. And then when you look at your hands and if there's a bit of blood, then you're just like,
oh yeah.
That's the point where you start crying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Economos should be sobbing right now, but he does his best. He crawls all the way there to give people what they need. So he.
Well,
he
yeah,
does help
exactly.
out.
So, like, what we're saying that he gets like a bit of a raw deal in the episode. He does kind of still sort of save the day.
Yeah, a
Well,
little bit.
help save
He
the
helps.
day. Like,
He helps.
he helps a lot considering the fact that he has bones sticking out of his leg.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But they give Adebayo like a Harley Quinn-esque action sequence. Like she kicks fucking ass.
Yes, she does.
Very much so.
She's
But all right, so
she's
so now
speedrunning the
moving
level. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she is totally speedrun level. She's on her 500th run of this roguelike game.
It's like grabs
Anyhow.
hold of the butterfly and yanks it out of Harcourt's mouth and then just
Oh
shoots it.
yeah.
Such good timing. Every time I watch it, I'm expecting her to shoot her own hand. Like I'm just expecting it, and it doesn't happen. But it'd be like such a James Gunn cap to this amazingly badass sequence to just shoot her pinky off. Ah! After all of that. So now we're down in the cave with the sequence I can't talk about without freaking out, and you have this fake out. Like Adebayo gets down there and she starts trying to dig out Peacemaker, and you think she's about to do it as Peacemaker's getting dug out, and then you find out Goff dug him out. And you finally get how Goff convinced a human to help them. Like, Goff lays it all out. Like, I am here for you. I'm not here to take over your planet. I'm here to make sure you don't fuck up your planet. Like, I am your fucking mission statement. So let's join up.
Yeah. And it's one of those moments where it's like, oh, well, yeah, the villain's going to try and convince the hero. And I kind of like how they do this because it's not like, oh, well, yeah, let's go along with it. You kind of get the sense that he's not going to go along with it just because of the journey that he's been on. Whereas I don't want to kill for peace anymore. I don't want to kill people anymore. So like him not going for it doesn't seem like a stretch, really. There doesn't need someone to come in and talk him out of it, like we're having these sort of situations that it's done so much in these kind of films. Like whenever you got what you would call quote unquote super villain, there's always that sort of. I mean, I think they even make fun of it in Venture Brothers, like, we're not so different, you and I. It's like, don't give me none of those we're not so different, you and I speeches.
Seriously, this show could take place in the Venture Brothers universe.
It really could. I'd be down for that, to be honest.
I will say this bit though. It's funny. It's like, oh, here we go. You're gonna explain your whole plan, and then like isn't it not gonna work? And then after the end of it, I was like, I kind of agree with that plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. Like, and then that's why like Judo Master's helping. And you have a little bit of an end with Judo Master. You get he has a reaction to what's going on, but in this case, I was like, you know what, you're probably right, and I'm okay. Judo Master makes sense. If I were Judo Master, I would say the same thing. There's a problem. We obviously aren't taking care of the planet. Let's do. You guys can do something about it. Let's do what you're doing.
I love how they made the appeal to the old Peacemaker. Like she is pitching an argument based on the idea that I'll dip peace no matter how many people I need to kill, and they almost more or less mirror that to him, and it's outdated because Peacemaker's gone through a lot of change and doubt, and it's that sign of growth that he does that. But I do, yeah.
Episode 1 Peacemaker would go for this.
Hell yeah,
100%.
I'm not sure if episode 1 Peacemaker. I think post killing Rick Flag Peacemaker is different than pre-killing Rick Flag. Peacemaker in the beginning of Suicide Squad would have signed up for this with absolutely no issue. But I think it was after killing Rick Flag he started questioning if he was right or not, because he respected Rick Flag and he didn't want to kill him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that sort of tracks, I guess.
Getting the reminder shot of killing Rick Flag, it did kind of like, oh man, we've gone a long journey with this guy. And I still don't like watching you kill Rick Flag. I still like that version of Rick Flag, damn it.
It does show his level of growth, though. He did something that stuck with him, and like that's a big deal.
Because this Peacemaker wouldn't kill Rick Flag.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Like, I don't care what the mission was from Waller. Rick Flag walked out of there alive.
Yep.
Yeah.
At least he didn't die from Peacemaker's hands, I should clarify. They did have to fight a fucking kaiju. He could have still died. But it wouldn't have been at Peacemaker's fault.
Exactly. And I think that's like the case is I think Peacemaker he's questioning his orders now.
Yeah. So the way they have to get out of this is we kind of skipped over Adebayo attempting to save the day by showing up wearing the human torpedo helmet, activating it, and going straight into a fucking wall like he said they would. It's such a great shot. It's done so comedically well of like very dramatic moment. Activate human torpedo. Pew! Bang! Oh.
Didn't he say like I told you that would happen?
I told her not to do that one.
But it's such a Looney Tunes moment too.
It is.
Yeah, those are the points I love in the shows where they get really wacky and zany.
And the fact that they were smart enough to double down on it made it so good. So when they're actually in the room with the cow and you have that moment of like, be the peacemaker. What do you say? What does he say? Activate human torpedo. And then you find out that Adebayo has finally stood up, very concussed, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
She's like, where am I? And then she's off again.
She's like, oh, what the fuck?
Right into the cow.
She just punches it like a hole, and then all the guts just come spewing out. They've killed the cow. She just stands up, just covered in everything. It's just like, what the fuck,
He's
man?
so upset. And he does it a little bit begrudgingly too. He's just like,
Oh yeah.
activate human torpedo.
Oh, I felt that was payback.
So did I. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was.
You betrayed me. Now you're going into a kaiju.
That very well could have been payback. You're right.
Because now they're friends after that. Now he admits that she's his BFF in like the sweetest moment in the whole show. It's like, aww, so good. But before we get there, we have to get to this show has one hell of a cameo, at least 2/4 of one. The other half might be CGI shadowed out people. But the Justice League shows up. Wasn't everyone excited to see the Justice? Did anyone actually see that coming? Because they tease it in the beginning of the episode, like where Adebayo's calling Amanda Waller, like, "Yo, like this is the end of the world. Can't you like send in the Justice League or anyone who's more qualified than we are?" So they do tease it, but did you actually expect any of them to show up?
I did not.
No. I was really surprised when they actually did show up.
I was guessing that Jason Momoa was in it, and I don't remember why. It was something that I had read, like, you're not going to believe who shows up in the end, and it's like, so who would show up? Who would actually show up to this sort of thing? And then I was guessing, like, well, Momoa loves, like, he's down to party. Like, I imagine if James Gunn called him, like, hey, can you show up for a day in your Aquaman costume? He'd be like, fuck yes. So I was guessing he'd be the one. I did not expect it to be, like, a whole Justice League cameo, especially with, everyone's least favorite celebrity, Ezra Miller. But I do like the moment. It did feel very Peacemaker, at least this show's version of Peacemaker, to have them show up and have Peacemaker be like, you dudes are late, fuck you.
Which I do also like. There is, for me, that kind of comes off as like they got bigger fish to fry, perhaps. Like maybe like that's where we are in the DC Universe canon, is that they are dealing with other like whole other planet invasions as opposed to like butterfly things.
Yeah.
I do like it though. It's like, it's just the way he says it. You're late, you fucking dickheads.
Like he's
Go fuck another fish, asshole. Like, I'm so fucking sick of that rumor. And then you got the Flash going, it's not a rumor. And she's like, fuck you, Barry.
It's one of those, like, the first time I watched it, and I've seen it a few times now, the first time I watched the sequence, I did not like it at all. Because it did not feel like the Justice League to me. Like, this whole, like, all the F-bombs, like, the fact that you can't see two of their faces for whatever reason. I'm like, this just doesn't feel right. But on the second watch, when I kind of recontextualized it, like, no, like, think of this as, like, a comic book run. Like, if Garth Ennis was the one writing this, he wouldn't have the Justice League show up and be the Justice League. He'd have them show up and be like this. That'd be very Garth Ennis, because that's what would fit this story. And thinking about it in that context, I'm like, okay, that works, because these guys are fitting in the Peacemaker story. So, of course, Aquaman says, fuck you, Barry, because that makes more sense in this show.
And also at this...
So it did take me a minute to warm
Also,
to
I think that, like, DC has been the closest to being like, I don't know, it's a comic book, get over it. You know what I mean? Like, just deal with it. We're not going to make these real-world people. they're not really heroes. They're just kind of whatever the comics need them to be. And like that is a definite way to take superheroes. And like, oh yeah, he's running around in rubber, spandex, and it's like, well, you're not wrong. We're not gonna say like, oh, it's this microfiber in it, or it's like nano machines, or it's like, no, we're walking around in rubber outfits. Got it.
Yeah, our costumes are ridiculous. I mean, they spend like, I don't know, like 30 seconds of Peacemaker trying to figure out how to put his own shirt on in the second episode because it's such a weird shaped shirt.
Yeah,
they're very willing
no
to lean
giving
into
that
the
at all.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
He's trying to get on it really quickly, and it's like, fuck's sake, Dad.
And that's what I mean, though, is that like you see these superheroes in the shirts, and they're all like, well, you can count every ab, and it's like that's not how a shirt would be. And in this case, they're like, no, the shirts are built to have the abs in them.
Yeah, the abs are stitched in.
It's like that's cool. Like other comic book places that'll like either fake the abs through or they just won't have them at all. And it's like this is cool.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into for realism. Let's go for it's a comic book.
Yeah, and I think having the Justice League as the cap and the way they did, they kind of nail that. It's a comic book feel.
Absolutely.
And it was fun, and it was funny, and I love Momoa. Like whenever he shows up in something, I'm like, oh, this is fun. Like even if it's not a great movie, he just kind of has an energy to him that makes it just a little bit more fun. So it was cool seeing him. I wish they had a little bit more with him because I can guess they were not on set together because they do not share a camera shot together. But it still worked, and it wasn't quite as obvious as say Spider-Man: No Way Home, where it's just like, holy shit, did any of you meet each other? No, awesome. But I can go on that rant a different day. The rest of this episode is mostly just wrap up and teases for a potential season 2 beyond the thing we already mentioned of Vigilante is fine. He just hops out a window, totally healed. It's like, yeah, he has superpowers. I'm refusing to go any other way on this now.
I do like though where he's stood in the hospital and he's like, dude, you should get checked in. You were shot. He's like, nah, I'll be fine in a minute, and he just collapses. And then, like all the hospital stuff is just like, well, what the fuck's going on there? Is he okay?
It felt to me like, I know you're probably right, but it felt to me like, okay, now we can help him. Like clearly he's shot and just standing there bleeding. He keeps telling us to go away. Just wait for him to pass out, then we'll help him.
And then like,
okay, back to work.
As soon as he like wakes up in the hospital bed, he's like, nope. Just like walk out the window.
Yeah. But the only thing that I felt was like really like world building esque, and I'm going to be curious in the next month to see if this is brought into Black Adam at all, is the outing of Amanda Waller as like the government like boogeyman. Like her daughter just puts it all out there, and Amanda Waller's in trouble. Like this feels like DC world building problems, but there doesn't really seem to be a DC world anymore thanks to the new fuckhead in charge of WB. So I'm going to be curious to see where that goes, if anywhere, or if it's just a tease for season 2 of Peacemaker.
And she was in the trailer for Black Adam, so it's like, oh, okay.
She is, yeah. That's why I'm like, I'm not sure. And I heard that she was in it. I've also heard that Hardcore's in it. So I'm curious to see what carries over. Hardcore might be a bit of a lie, because I haven't seen her in any of the trailers. Or it could be, a cameo. But
do you think it's possible Waller ends up as a more permanent fixture to the show? Like, visually on screen?
Possibly. There was talks before Zlav took over that she was getting her own show. And it was going to be kind of like a Monster of the Week, but with superheroes, and she was the mainstay. And I'm like, that could be really cool. But I think that got...
In the comics, she was the Sam Jackson, Nick Fury-esque thing, which she was always kind of like more of a jerk.
Yeah.
And in fact, for the awful Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie, they were trying to do an Iron Man, and they actually had... a version of Amanda Waller in there that was like, okay, we're gonna start building a superhero team. Like that was supposed to be Green Lantern was supposed to be Iron Man, and then it was so bad that they're like, nope. But they did have a tease with a version of Amanda Waller in it.
They did. Who played her? I don't remember.
It was someone very famous, though.
It was. I don't remember who it was. And I actually even...
I'm looking at him now.
I was going to say, that movie's not as bad as people made it out to be.
No, it's not. Is it great? No. But is it that terrible thing? No. Like, I'd rather watch Green Lantern than Wonder Woman 1984.
Agreed. I've probably seen it like 14 times. Angela Bassett.
Yeah. Angela Bassett, that's right, yeah. I know it's somebody big, and like who would have been
I didn't even realize that Taika Waititi was in it.
He's like the best friend. He's got such a minor role. He's like the guy that like Ryan Reynolds bounces jokes off.
Oh, see, I wasn't aware of him as an actor for a very long time.
He was an actor before he was a filmmaker.
Oh yeah, no, I realized that, but I was like, I think I I figured out like the first movie I saw him in was What We Do in Shadows, and then
Oh, okay.
yeah, not much after that.
I think we've done it. I think it's time to move into our favorite moments and then say goodbye. Does everyone else feel okay with that? I miss any of your favorite moments from this one? We spent a good long time on this one, but I think it warranted it.
I do want to say that it is
such
like
a great finale.
At the end, you do get like a Peacemaker who now has the ghost of his father kind of haunting him.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
and that, you know what? I do want to spend 1 second on that, because is that him with his emotional baggage, or is there something actually there? Because the one time he did actually interact with his dad early in the episode, they found the helmet that no one else could find.
I took it as emotional baggage. So
I am too, but there could be. This is a comic book show after all. There could be something there.
Yeah. And then you
I'm
get
curious
Goff
to see where
coming
it goes.
back.
Oh yeah, and Goff. There's not a lot of food left for poor Goff.
I don't really know whether it is just emotional baggage, because, like you said, he finds the helmet because of that. Is it? And I was sort of thinking, is there something in the helmets? So is it going to be like, if he wants to use the helmets, is he going to have to deal with these weird sort of like hallucinations of his father?
That was Chewie's guess, is that he built himself into the helmets in a version kind of like a Jarvis in Iron Man sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
A real
but,
racist Jarvis.
Really fucked up.
Yeah.
Racist
With
Jarvis.
racist Iron Man, we're moving to racist Jarvis. But I think there could be something there, and if there isn't, it's not like they've teased it too hard. Where I'm gonna feel like they left something out. Like it worked just enough to be like, if they build on it, great, and if they don't, that still works. But all right, let's move into our favorite moments, and I'm gonna go first, and then Alex, because I think both of ours have been outed. Mine is just fuck you, Barry. I love it. And I love it because I think it's great in the moment, and I love someone saying to Ezra Miller, "Fuck you." There's just so much wonderfulness in that one little moment. But Alex, yours has also been.
Yeah, mine is "Don't fuck with my BFF." And he throws machete.
Such a good moment. All right, we'll let Matt go last. Joel, what was yours?
Easily fucking off with the helmet.
You were locked and loaded on that one.
Yeah.
They do such a good job of like, he's doing it. He's doing it. Oh no, he's not. Nope. No, he's sure. Oh, he just dropped it.
And it's the one time he's not reliable.
You got Harcourt as well, just going, I fucking knew he didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, well, great leader you are, Harcourt. You still approved this plan. She needs some training, is all I'm saying. And I'm a Harcourt fan. Matt, what about you?
And why are these wet? I washed them in the creek. Why? One of the things us warriors seldom talk about is how often people shit themselves when they die. It's a touch of grey in the white cloud of kicking ass. So now you want me to risk my life while wearing diarrhea pants. Hey, nobody said anything about diarrhea. I said it was shit. Was it diarrhea? Yes, it was.
I love that he refers to himself and like the collective as us warriors.
Yeah.
And it's a touch of gray in the white cloud of kicking ass.
Kicking ass, yeah.
It's Peacemaker at his most poetic in the entire show.
Yeah, he really is. It's like it's
fantastic.
very like it's very poetic. He's sitting there like, us warriors.
Yeah. It's a good one. I'm glad you called that one out, Matt. All right, let's do a very quick round of plugs, and then we can say goodbye. For me, I got 2 plugs. This show and every other show on the ATH network. Be sure to check out athpod.com. I can say my own website. And we have a new show coming to you from this little show called Binge Buddies, which you're currently listening to. It's called Bad Days in Haddonfield. And I'm really excited about it. It's going to start soon-ish. We're going to find out at some point here. And we're going through the entire Halloween series. Reboots and all. So we have some really, really good movies to watch. And some really, really bad movies to watch. And I think it's going to be a very fun deep dive into Halloween, which I admittedly am not that big of a fan of. I am much more of a Jason Voorhees guy or a Freddy Krueger guy. Like, Michael Myers is like third rung for me. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this one, because I'm not coming at it from this place of like die-hard love, which I think I have for almost every show we've done on this show. So I'm excited to dive into this.
I want to hear your thoughts on Season of the Witch.
Oh, that one. I've already done a whole podcast on that one on ATH. You can go listen to that. And that is I was the one person on that show who's like, this is a good movie, guys. And they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, but it is. Because, 3 more days to Halloween. Like, is that, are you not horrified now? I know I am. Sorry, but we'll get into that. Definitely in the show. I'm excited for it. And then be sure to check out Demon Days, an actual play podcast, where I am the host, the Bullywug, and it's a blast. Let's go with Joel. Joel, what you got plugging for?
Yeah, sure. So my wife and I have glommed onto the After the Hype network and are now a podcast called Afterthoughts. We did finish Tennessee Yankee and Teen Arthur's Court. Check back on that. Our next episode's going to drop before this one, where we talk about Fahrenheit 451. Very good book. Very good book. Hits a lot of same themes that 1984 has, except a little bit of a different slant. So I was happy to give that a shot here. And next book TBD. Kelly's trying to needle me for Lord of the Rings. I'm trying to debate whether I'm ready to climb that mountain, but we'll see.
I'm pretty sure that you said Dune was next.
Ooh, yeah, I remember Dune.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
I've heard good things.
Anyway, I'm also fundraising for Extra Life, which is a 24-hour video game campaign in support of Children's Miracle Network. If you search Super GG Radio with no spaces on Extra Life's page, you'll find our team page, and you should give me donations because I always struggle to get some.
Help Joel and the children out, but primarily Joel.
Yes.
So all the donations to Brock. Got it.
Hey, it is Brock's birthday. Happy birthday, Brock! On the day we're recording, not when this comes out. So all donations to Brock. Sorry, Joel.
Okay, I'll make everybody a deal. If I hit my goal, I will choose Dune as our next book.
What? Oh, damn! What's your goal?
You're
Do I have enough
pandering.
money to
You're
support this?
pandering.
You heard that, everyone? Get donating.
All right, Alex. Alex, and then Matt.
I am Orona Alex on Twitter. 0 RONALEX, and part of the Super GG Radio podcast, where you can find all of our podcasts and all podcast services. And you can check out our reviews at superggradio.com. Lastly, we have started a TikTok where we are doing 1-minute previews of indie games. So go ahead and check us out on TikTok.
Very cool. And Matt?
I will not be plugging TikTok. Let's put it that way. I hate that thing. So yeah, I've just actually last night, as of recording this, I recorded the first in a new kind of science fiction podcast that I'm working on, where we'd look at the sort of list. Like one episode or a film or maybe like a theme or throughout a series of like in sci-fi, like what they did well with it and then what they did bad with it, and just kind of things like that. It was kind of rough, but I'm going to be working on editing that, and hopefully that one will be going up soon-ish. And then I'm going to try and be we're going to try and be as regular as possible with that one, but we are going to be relying on other people's availability as well, because we're going to be trying to get in, some other sort of like sciencey people on there. Like, one of the ideas I've had is I've got someone who specializes in space junk and might actually look at gravity in terms of how realistic is that and what they got right and what they didn't get right. But yeah, like things like films set on Mars, for example. We've got a few people who are sort of like working on Mars missions as such. So these are all actual scientists working for the European Space Agency. I should sort of point out, this is not just like random person from the street who's giving.
I'm going to Mars.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome, and I'm really excited to. I got to give the first episode a good QC here when you're done cutting it, and I'm excited for this thing to start coming out. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, the first episode is going to be pretty rough because it was recorded with one microphone, so there might be some
both
issues
Alex
there.
and Joel can attest. I like giving notes, so I will happily give you notes.
Yeah, excellent. But I'm going to try and edit that over the next few days and just cut it down to something a bit more manageable. Cut out every time I go, because that'll get 10 minutes out of the episode anyway. It's so much more difficult being like the sort of like the person who has to keep things on track when you're probably one of the biggest people for going on tangents.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment to me, and we're gonna say goodbye. I'm getting right back on topic. All right, thank you everyone so much for listening. This has been an absolute blast. I fucking love Peacemaker, and I love doing this show. Tune in next week when we do our series wrap up before we start up with Bad Days in Haddonfield. Thank you everyone. Bye.
Activate human torpedo.
No
Matt just died.
No dough, no dude.